You're listening to the N2K Space Network.
And now, a message from Black Cloak. Did you know the easiest way for cyber criminals to bypass your company's defenses is by targeting your executives and their families at home? Black Cloak's award-winning digital executive protection platform secures their personal devices, home networks, and connected lives. Because when executives are compromised at home, your company is at risk. In fact, over 1/3 of new members discover they've already been breached. Protect your executives and their families 24/7, 365 with Black Cloak. Learn more at blackcloak.io.
Today is February 27th, 2025. I'm Maria Varmazis, and this is T-Minus.
T-Minus. 20 seconds to LOS. T-Dress. Go for deploy. Roger, roll.
WeatherStream has been awarded a $2 million Phase 2 cyber contract from the Office of Naval Research to further develop its multi-model platform for environmental remote sensing. 4. Lumen Orbit has renamed itself as StarCloud and has raised $10 million in new funding for its space-based data centers. 3. Astroscale Japan has been awarded a 7.27 billion yen contract by Japan's Ministry of Defense to develop a responsive space system demonstration satellite prototype. 2. Varda's W2 spacecraft lands in the Australian outback after completing its second mission. 1. Intuitive Machines' lunar lander Athena is heading to the moon. And our guest today is Colleen McLeod Garner, a commercial strategist and brand developer. And Colleen and I spoke about the crossover opportunities for the space industry and the need for good marketing. You can hear that chat after today's headlines. Happy Thursday, everybody. It's getting busy on the highway to our nearest natural satellite as IM-2 becomes the third commercial mission heading to the moon this year. At 7:17 p.m. Eastern last night, a SpaceX Falcon 9 launched from the Kennedy Space Center, putting the Athena lunar lander on its planned trajectory towards the moon. The Athena lander is expected to descend to touchdown on a flat mesa-like structure known as Mons Mouton on March 6th, just 100 miles from the moon's south pole. If they achieve the planned touchdown, it'll put the lunar probe closer to the South Pole than any other spacecraft has yet attempted. And as I mentioned, it is the third lunar lander heading to the moon right now. Times we live in, huh? Firefly's Blue Ghost is also expected to touch down on the lunar surface in the coming days. Both probes are part of NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services program, and both are carrying commercial and federal payloads. The third mission is iSpace Japan's Resilience lander, which isn't expected to touch down until May. Athena's mission is the first to search for suspected ice from the moon's surface. On board, it has a hopper named Grace after software pioneer Admiral Grace Hopper, well known in the cybersecurity community, and the mobile autonomous prospecting platform rover built by a company called Lunar Outpost. They will communicate with the Athena lander via cellular networking equipment provided by Nokia in a first-of-its-kind demonstration. Additionally, a tiny micro rover known as Yaoki, provided by Tokyo-based Diamond Corporation, will be dropped to the surface from the Athena lander. It'll provide close-up images of the lunar soil or regolith and then beam them back to Earth through Athena. Athena is also carrying payloads for Lone Star Data Holdings, Columbia Sportswear, and the German Aerospace Center, or DLR. Athena, by the way, was not the only payload on the Falcon 9 rocket that launched it. Astroforge's Odin asteroid prospector was released 4 minutes after Athena. NASA's Lunar Trailblazer satellite was then deployed about 20 seconds after that, followed a few seconds later by Epic Aerospace's Chimera Geo 1 space tug. And we wish them all the best of luck on their missions. Calling all Spaceballs fans, the Winnebago is back on Earth. Varda's W2 space capsule, which was launched on January 14th, has returned from its second mission in Leo. The capsule is carrying payloads for customers, including a spectrometer from the Air Force Research Laboratory, in addition to Varda's expanded pharmaceutical reactor. According to a post shared on social media, at 5:52 a.m. Pacific time today, the W2 spacecraft successfully executed its final reentry burn and prepared to deorbit. 24 minutes later, the capsule separated from the vehicle, and after another 17 minutes, the parachutes deployed and the capsule landed safely in the Australian outback. Varda says it'll be recovered by their team tomorrow during daylight hours. A huge congratulations to all involved. Astroscale Japan has been awarded a 7.27 billion yen contract by Japan's Ministry of Defense to develop a responsive space system demonstration satellite prototype. The project includes the development and testing of a protoflight model for a small geostationary demonstration satellite. The development and testing phase will run from March 2025 to March 2028. In the launch and operations phases, which will be managed under a separate contract, the satellite will demonstrate technologies to advance space domain awareness, space surveillance, intelligence gathering, and space operations capabilities. Lumen Orbit has renamed itself as StarCloud, great name by the way, and has raised $10 million in a seed funding round for its space-based data centers. And the funding comes after December's announcement that the startup brought in $11 million from early investors. StarCloud is aiming to place a network of megawatt-scale computer servers in Earth orbit, powered by grids of solar panels that could stretch as much as 2.5 miles in width. StarCloud's 132-pound demonstrator satellite is due to be launched into low Earth orbit by this summer by what else but a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket as part of the Bandwagon 4 rideshare mission. And WeatherStream has been awarded a $2 million Phase 2 SBIR contract from the Office of Naval Research to further develop its multi-model platform for environmental remote sensing. The company's platform, Spectrum, enables rapid development of environmental algorithms from remote sensing data, supporting a wide range of applications, including weather forecasting, atmospheric monitoring, and severe storm and hydrometeor detection. The Office of Naval Research is hoping that the satellite company's platform can be used for cutting-edge meteorological use cases while reducing costs. And N2K senior producer Alice Carruth has details on additional stories that didn't make it in today's Top 5. Alice?
Thanks, Maria. We always like to point out additional opportunities to read up on what's going on in the space industry. Today we have 3 additional stories included in our selected reading section of the show notes. One on Satellogic's dataset now openly accessible on AWS. Details on Virgin Galactic's Q4 and full year 2024 financial results. And an update on Etihad SAT.
And remind us yet again, Alice, where can we find those stories?
As mentioned, links to those stories, along with further reading on all the other stories mentioned throughout the show, can be found in our show notes and on our website, space.n2k.com, and click on this episode title.
Hey, T-Minus crew, if your business is looking to grow your voice in the industry, expand the reach of your thought leadership, or recruit talent, T-Minus can help. We would love to hear from you. Just send us an email at space@n2k.com or send us a note through our website so we can connect about building a program to meet your goals.
Cyber threats are more sophisticated than ever. Passwords, they're outdated and can be cracked in a minute. Cyber criminals are intercepting SMS codes and bypassing authentication apps. While businesses invest in network security, they often overlook the front door, the login. Yubico believes the future is passwordless. YubiKeys offer unparalleled protection against phishing for individuals, SMBs, and enterprises. They deliver a fast, frictionless experience that users love. Yubico is offering N2K followers a limited buy one, get one offer. Visit yubico.com/N2K to unlock this deal. That's YUBICO. Say no to modern cyber threats. Upgrade your security today.
Our guest today is Colleen McLeod Garner, a commercial strategist and brand developer. Colleen and I spoke at SpaceCom 2025 about crossover opportunities for the space industry and the need for good storytelling in this industry. Let me tell you, I was very invested in this conversation.
My mission is amplifying every industry, all industry needs a space strategy. So if I was in a room with, whatever company and they were asking me about the ROI, I would say, number one, the reason that we are going to space is for Earth. And a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that, their banking, their Uber, their memory foam on their bed was all space.
Yep.
The general public doesn't know the space for Earth benefit. And I think we need to do a better job of messaging that.
Yes.
Which goes back to sales and marketing.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yep.
And so I think what's fascinating is you've got what I like to call the second Kennedy moment, where you have the head of, the government, the head commander-in-chief saying, we are doing this. It's priority one.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
That is going to move that cruise ship and everyone else will fall in line on that mission.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So
I think for many of us, we love space. It's great. It's an easy selling point for us. I'm thinking to myself, so, okay, why is it that we don't see more collabs from non-space businesses? But flip side, I feel like if we have this conversation with people who it's not as evident to, who are in the space industry, why is there hesitation from within the space world to also do those collaborations outside? You know what I mean? It's sort of like a two-way thing of there's hesitation in both directions, but why? Because it just seems like a natural thing. That why wouldn't
it comes down to communication, and there actually are some really talented people in our space side that are making those connections. I think there's a lot of meat on the bone still for a, quote, marketing gimmick. I don't even like to say that because it sounds cheap, but I mean, if you think about these multi-million-dollar marketing budgets that some of these companies have, they're always looking for the next innovative, coolest, sexiest thing.
This is true.
Right?
Yep.
In order to refresh a brand, you innovate or you die. And so I think it's really just, we need to have better communication, find the person in the haystack that's in charge of partnerships. That's it. There are some amazing people that I know personally that are doing those types of things and bringing more people into the ecosystem.
Yeah. I'm so curious, a conversation I've had a few times over the past few days here has been about how the space industry has so much to learn from other businesses. We don't need to reinvent how we do things because the medical community or the hospitality community has been doing some of these things for decades really well, and space can learn from them. I'm curious, if you could make things happen out of thin air right now, what would you like to see?
Oh my gosh, you have so many great questions.
I'm sorry. And it's also probably a really hard question to answer because it's I'm putting you on the spot for that. But if you could have your druthers, what would you want to see happen?
Well, I mean, follow the money. Let's start there.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I think we need to solve for that. And, even talking with a lot of these entrepreneurs, I help out with some incubators. I love entrepreneurs. I love them at every stage. I want to help them. I want to see them succeed. The issue that you run into a lot of times, and I'm generally speaking, when you're dealing with people who are introverts, like a lot of scientists and engineers, there's a struggle to make people understand your widget.
Very true.
Okay, so
very true.
And furthermore, I think in the space ecosystem, from what I have seen, is that you've got this amazing widget, you've been successful with said widget, and then you promote. But those people don't have business acumen or the business abilities or toolbox. I would say.
Yep.
To bring them to this profitability, scalability that you need to do or iterate or whatever. So you need a team of, we need the brilliant scientists and engineers, we can't do it without you, but we also need the sales and marketing, and we need the business acumen, the strategy, the CFO. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
I
it's a
completely
symphony.
know what you mean. Yes, and I think it's interesting. It's like I completely agree with you, and it's a conversation that I know that I've had this conversation with like my colleagues. It's like it's to me sort of like a lack of respect for what business functions can do when, and I don't mean this to be mean to like my engineering and science friends, but I know a lot of times they're like, well, my product is so brilliant that why would I need someone to help me sell it? It's like, it should be self-evident how great and how life-changing and paradigm shifting this thing is. It's like that, I'm sure that's true.
Yes.
But like, if you don't know how to make a strong business case and communicate and like do an elevator pitch for
Sure.
the basics, like people don't know about you, and it's like that requires respecting what these roles do.
I agree. And I think there's also understanding how important it is.
Yes.
And so how do you explain to said entrepreneur, said scientist, said engineer that is the CFO or the CEO of a company to say, where's your sales and marketing team?
Mm-hmm.
What budget have you allocated to them? And they're like, well, we don't need it. It's like, yes, you do.
Yep. And again, it's like respecting that expertise. Like
Absolutely.
all of us on the comm side, we massively respect the expertise of our builder friends. But like flip side, those of us who tell the stories, who talk to people, who make those connections, that's a skill too. Like let's respect that. As you mentioned, you work with a lot of entrepreneurs. So when you are coaching them, guiding them, like what do you want them to know about, building within the world, like the space world, or also, but like outside of it?
I ask a lot of questions.
Sure.
I ask them challenging questions to get them to get themselves to the correct answer. Right? So if one of the accelerators I'm on is biotech, okay? I know nothing about biotech. I love biotech, but if you're showing me a deck with an encyclopedia for your widget, like you lost me.
Yeah.
Completely and utterly. You need to break it down like I'm a kindergartner, right? Because if you are, and going back to what you said about the elevator pitch, if you can't tell me what you do in one sentence, you're dead in the water. Forget about the funding, forget about all that stuff.
It's like, I'm sure your protein is really cool, but like, what is that going to do for me? And also,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's because I'm sure people like yourself, you hear like all these amazing business ideas all the time, and it's very hard to sort of, like, there has to be something distinguishing there. There has to be that value proposition, right? If I'm using my correct terminology.
You are
I don't know
correct. Yes, you are correct. Very good.
I'm not a business person.
Yes, you are. You're using very business terms.
I was like, I cannot do what you do though at all. So I'm just like, I like stories, like meeting people, but I could never. I'm not.
But see, that's the hitch right there, friend. The storytelling.
That's what I do.
That is what it is.
You know what?
You're in sales, sister. Own it.
Oh my God. Well, I'll take that. All right. Well, Colleen, this has been really fun. I want to make sure that I sort of give you the table for like our parting words. Anything you want to impart the audience with before we close out today?
Well, thank you for listening. I hope that your ears aren't bleeding.
No.
And I thank you for having me on the show.
Thanks for coming.
And I will just say this. I am so full of hope right now in this time. It is an amazing time to be alive. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it is.
And I think a lot, what I also would say is we stand on the shoulders of giants that came before and did all the hard things. And I would say respecting legacy and embracing innovation is where we're at.
We'll be right back.
And now, a message from our sponsor, Zscaler, the leader in cloud security. Enterprises have spent billions of dollars on firewalls and VPNs, yet breaches continue to rise by an 18% year-over-year increase in ransomware attacks and a $75 million record payout in 2024. These traditional security tools expand your attack surface with public-facing IPs that are exploited by bad actors, more easily than ever with AI tools. It's time to rethink your security. Zscaler Zero Trust plus AI stops attackers by hiding your attack surface, making apps and IPs invisible, eliminating lateral movement, connecting users only to specific apps, not the entire network, continuously verifying every request based on identity and context, simplifying security management with AI-powered automation, and detecting threats using AI to analyze over 500 billion daily transactions. Hackers can't attack what they can't see. Protect your organization with Zscaler Zero Trust and AI. Learn more at zscaler.com/security.
Welcome back. Blue Origin has announced the next crew for its New Shepard's 31st mission, and it's going to be one for the history books, and you'll probably be hearing about it also on entertainment news. That's because Blue has lined up an all-female crew that includes activists, journalists, educators, CEOs, and a big old pop star. To say that they're a powerhouse would be an understatement. This flight, by the way, is the first all-woman flight since the Soviet Union's Valentina Tereshkova's solo space flight in 1963. Let's just let that one sink in for a moment. Anyway, the crew for New Shepard's 31st mission includes Aisha Bao, Amanda Nguyen, Gail King, Katy Perry, Carrie-Anne Flynn, and Jeff Bezos' fiancée, Lauren Sanchez, who brought the whole mission together. Lauren says she's honored to lead a team of explorers on a mission that will challenge their perspectives of Earth, empower them to share their own stories, and create lasting impact that will inspire generations to come. My goodness, Oprah's Gail in space. What? I gotta admit, I did not see the Katy Perry announcement coming. I mean, what a dark horse. Are we going to hear her roar? Or is she going to launch like a firework? Yes, there are 3 song titles in there. Sorry, you were thinking it too. And whether or not the launch, which is expected to happen in the coming weeks, is used as a backdrop to a new music video or publicity stunt, it's regardless going to be an epic performance. These women are all incredible in their own rights, and we suggest you go and check them out by following the link in our show notes. Hint, Amanda Nguyen is an absolutely incredible human being. We applaud Blue Origin for their empowering mission and hope to see a lot of coverage leading up to this amazing flight. Go, ladies! And that's it for T-Minus for February 27th, 2025, brought to you by N2K Cyberwire. For additional resources from today's report, check out our show notes at space.n2k.com. We're privileged that N2K and podcasts like T-Minus are part of the daily routine of many of the most influential leaders and operators in the public and private sector, from the Fortune 500 to many of the world's preeminent intelligence and law enforcement agencies. N2K's senior producer is Alice Caruth. Our producer is Liz Stokes. We're mixed by Elliot Peltzman and Trey Hester, with original music by Elliot Peltzman. Our executive producer is Jennifer Iben. Peter Kilpie is our publisher, and I'm your host, Maria Varmazes. Thanks for listening. We'll see you tomorrow.
T-Minus.
Hey everybody, Dave here. Have you ever wondered where your personal information is lurking online? Like many of you, I was concerned about my data being sold by data brokers. So I decided to try Delete Me. I have to say, Delete Me is a game changer. Within days of signing up, they started removing my personal information from hundreds of data brokers. I finally have peace of mind knowing my data privacy is protected. Delete Me's team does all the work for you with detailed reports, so you know exactly what's been done. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/N2K and use promo code N2K at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/N2K and enter code N2K at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/N2K, code N2K.